All right, so we're still waiting on our lightning pied clutch to get dropped. She's basically 2 days late at this point, so hopefully it'll be Wednesday's video. But I know Monday's video, which was yesterday, we were showing all those crazy Ultramel combos where there could potentially be, you know, 8 different genes between the two parents, individual Ultramels. And I wanted to show the dad, and he looks so completely different than what he looked like when I first got him. And this is him here. He was basically a lot more white when he first got, when I first got him. I actually did get him as a hatchling directly from Aussie. And so he originally had him there. I mean, this is his tag when I first created it. Ultramel, Leopard, OD, Fire, Pastel, Het Pied. I added the Enchi and the Yellow Belly on there because it turned, I think he honestly turned out to be at least those genes and potentially even more. But this is kind of what I always talk about when I say invest heavily in your males, because this single male, and he was actually cheaper. He was the cheaper of the 2 snakes that I bought from Aussie at that time. I bought a Super OD, Yellow Belly, Leopard, Fire, Enchi, Pied male. That is a really pretty male. He looked nicer than this male, but he was just a pied with a bunch of genes in him, and he was like 7,500 or 7,000 when I bought him. This male, who was listed as OD, Leopard, Firefly, Ultramel, Het Pied, which ended up having 1 or 2 extra genes, was only 5,500 at the time. And this was back in 2021, so this was 3 years ago. That's how long I've had this guy. It was like fall 2021. So he's about 2.5 years old. But I always tell people to invest in the males. And he's why. And he's a good example of why. So this guy has been bred to everything from any single pied that I had, any single female pied that had a bunch of genes, to basically any Ultramel female that I had to go. And everything that I've produced from him has been straight fire. He initially, you know, was ID'd as only having 4 genes, and he's potentially at 5 or 6 genes at the end of the day. But being the visual Ultramel and Het Pied also adds a lot of different flavor. And I mean, this is one of the pieds that I produced from him last year, and she's humongous. And I think she's probably Super OD, Leopard, Fire, possibly. She was very hard to tell too, but I think that's what she is. And she's pied 100% Het Ultramel. An absolutely beautiful snake. I breed her and make some crazy ultra pieds, or I can make some really cool looking Ultramels with her that are going to be Het Pied. And she's ready to breed already too, actually, because she got so big so fast. And it looks like she did not eat her meal today either, so I got to make sure I get that out of there. But, you know, I produced that snake from him. I can go through and kind of show all the females that I kept from him. This beautiful pied female came out of him. Let's see what else we got. We got a bunch. Let's see. This girl, this beautiful girl, came from him. This girl was from him. A lot of them are very high white. I don't know. That obviously is probably from the fire. Ooh, we got a shed in here. If you can see that girl there, there's probably a poop in there somewhere too. She's really pretty. And let's see, I think there's another one. Oh yeah, I think this is the female that was not a visual. But look how cool that female is that came out of them. And then I also have 2, zoom out here, and I have 2 Ultramels, females that I held back from him as well last year. Actually, no, that's not even it. I got 4 more snakes. I have 2 more pieds, and I have a pewter, which I don't know if this is going to show up, but it's really high up here. pewter, just a very high white. So pewter head ultramel. I have a Mojave. Let's see where she's at. Oop, come here, honey. Let's see if I can get you out there a little bit. Mojave head ultramel from him. But let me get out the two other. Step stool over here. This is hard to do with one hand, but I'm trying to do my best. Let's get her out. She actually just shed today, so she's gonna look really pretty for you guys. This is one of the awesome ultramels that he produced this year. And as you can see, she is enormous. She's probably close to 1,000 grams or so. Just an absolutely stunning snake. I mean, look at how yellow those yellows are and how kind of purpley those purples are. She's just a blazing bright snake. And again, she's het pied. She tested positive for het pied with her pairing. I think it was him bred to a het ultramel in this pairing because it was the only chances I had of actually making visual ultramels last year. And I luckily hit 2 females. And I'll show you the other female next. And both of those females tested positive for pied as well. So these 2 females are het pied. Let's see. Let's get her back in there and get the other girl down. These snakes sometimes make it very hard when you're trying to get them out with just one hand. Let's see where she's at. She's in her hide. This is the other one. I think this is the better looking snake of the 2, personally. Now, her colors have actually kind of dulled down a little bit since she was younger, but she still has a super crazy bright orange on her head. Her purples are kind of dulling down a little bit. They're becoming a little more kind of mocha colored, but she's honestly one of the craziest looking ultramels I've seen as well. So this male has a track record of just making crazy looking offspring. Both of these last 2 females that I just showed, they are both from a plain head ultramel female. She did not have any other genes in her. So this is everything that was passed along from him in these 2 snakes. And as you can see, both of those girls were just absolutely stunning looking snakes. So when I recommend to people to invest heavily in your males, because it's easier for them to do all the heavy lifting. I say that because those males are possibly going to be bred to 3, 4, 5 females every single year. So if a male like him can breed to 3 or 4 or 5 females every single year and make that sort of offspring just by himself without any help from the female, you have a winning formula. And those 2 specific ultramels, I haven't looked very hard. The second female, the last female I showed you, I haven't seen anything exactly like it on Morph Market. The first female I have, you know, obviously these bamboo ones are crazy as well that I showed you guys yesterday. Now, some of that is help from the female because she was a bamboo black pastel head ultramel. But it's just when you have one male that could breed to multiple females every year that carries multiple genes in a project like Ultramel that people aren't oversaturating, then you have a winning formula. I know people are still chasing the whole Pompeii thing, but guess what? Everybody's chasing the Pompeii thing. Everybody's doing it. You know what's going to happen when everybody is actually starting to hit those Pompeiis? The prices are going to go down. That's how it happens every single time. All of these projects, that's what happens. That's what happened with lace a few years back. It became the next hot thing, and the prices on laces plummeted because everybody started doing it. It's the same thing with clown pied, unfortunately. It's a double recessive project, which is harder to create than some of these codom only snakes. And those prices plummeted by like 80% within a year or two. But stuff like this that isn't oversaturated can really create beautiful snakes that nobody else is making, that can make it easier for you to sell stuff. Because if you're the only person creating things like that and nobody else can find that snake anywhere else, you're creating a very nice supply and demand issue for the people looking to buy your snakes. So that male specifically has been probably one of my, if not my best purchases that I have made the whole time I've been in the hobby. And I've still only made a handful of visual ultramels from him. I have not even made a double visual ultrapide from this male or any of his stock yet. Hopefully this is the year that happens, because I have 10 snakes that I kept from him last year. I actually had a pied head ultramel female that I purchased last year to breed him to, and for some reason they are not getting the job done, so I don't know what to do with her and him, because they're not pairing up. And he's actually, I mean, he has fantastic body shape, but he's actually not breeding at this point anymore, so I don't know if he's just sort of tired out and pooped and just kind of needs a long break. But it's insane what you can do. And the fact that I haven't made a double visual recessive from me yet is crazy, because there's so much more that can be done with this project. And it is so underworked that it's very easy for anybody to just step in here, buy the right animals, and start producing stuff that nobody has seen before. And it's very simple to do, which is a crazy looking snake like this. It's one male. One male can change everything. If you bought a male like that and 4 females that were pied head ultramel or ultramel het pied, you'd probably be making ultrapides in a year or two that people still are not seeing. So it's kind of thinking outside the box and not doing what everybody else is doing all the time. I'm making probably a bunch of clown pides this year. But hopefully I'm not making any plain clown pides. Hopefully they have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 genes in them. And a lot of those snakes are going to be snakes that I hold back so that my projects bounce further down the road. So obviously I am doing some of the things that everybody else is doing, but I'm not trying to do it the basic way. I'm trying to do it so there's some added flavor in there. So when you're looking at your projects, when you're looking at investing in stuff, you don't want to be just making plain ultramels. You really don't even want to be making plain clown pides at this point. You need to have something else in there. You need to have genes that change the way that snake looks. Try something different. Get some different genes in there, and don't just make plain ones. And that's really the key to kind of growing your business and helping it kind of take off.